right, let's see. So, grandchildren and grandparents share a special bond when they're close to one another. Grandpa had a very sweet and loving soul that was very inviting. Even though we all have our flaws, he had a heart of gold. He always made others feel like they were loved and made sure that they were seen. The talks that I had with Grandpa over the summers and him living here, I will cherish and remember. He always took us to Navarre to go crabbing. He always, same story with Emily, put us in the truck and said, "Don't be seen by other people." Um, Grandpa was a simple man. He wanted a life full of contentment and peace. He wasn't worried about the latest gadgets or gizmos that came out. He always made sure that he provided for his family, and I don't know how he did it with the money that he made. The only way I can say is by the power of God. It was always amazing that Grandpa could provide for a family, and always very charitable towards others. He made other people that didn't have earthly fathers as his own. He grabbed them and said, "I'll be your earthly father as long as you want me to be." So he always made others feel loved, even though their own fathers weren't here. One of the things he always said to me growing up was, "Don't let the sun go down while still being mad at others." He always made sure that the family felt loved and that they knew that there was love. Even though you may not have agreed with him, we all know Grandpa had his opinions and views, and he was very strong and set in those ways. Um, he always wanted us not to worry about the future and just to rely and trust on God. He always said, "I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I know that he will be with us." Being able to help Mom and Dad during those last few years while Grandpa was still alive was one of the hardest things to do and see, especially the last week that he was here. We all know that he was a very emotional guy and would say some things that you'd be like, "What? That doesn't make any sense," but okay, whatever you say, Grandpa. So that was very special to be able to spend that time with him, and being able to have those memories filled throughout the years. Again, Grandma and Grandpa didn't focus on materials. They were very giving and very faithful to the Lord, and God always provided for their needs. But the real special part was when Grandpa always made everyone feel like their favorites. But we know that I was the most favorite. I used to have this running joke with Grandpa that said, "Grandpa, let me see your wallet." And he'd always be like, "Why?" So we go to his wallet. I said, "Look, there's a picture of me, but none of y'all. So remember that." Grandpa always had a picture of me, and they keep the favorite for the last. So